Hey there, I'm Angella Sharpe, and welcome to the Daily Mix. You know, tomorrow is the first day of spring, so hopefully we will see some sunshine. I don't know when the last time we saw the sun was, but I'm looking forward to it being here and maybe a little bit warmer weather. I hope you had a good weekend. You know, the Blues, they had a pretty decent weekend. They won last night against the Blackhawks in overtime. They won on Saturday in overtime. And I don't know if you know this, but the Blues are in a playoff push. They're trying to get in. Tomorrow night, the Blues take on the Bruins. Now, the Blues are two outside the wild card spot, right? The Blues have 83 points. Above them is Dallas with 84 points. Above them, the Kings, who are in a spot at 84 points. And Colorado, also in a wild card spot at 86 points. So this is the push, but the Blues basically control their own destiny. So you definitely should come out and support. And even more important than these points, tomorrow is Pink at the Rink night at the Scott Trade Center. It's the 11th annual Pink at the Rink night. That is Breast Cancer Awareness Night. And actually, if you buy a theme ticket, $5 of that theme ticket goes to Susan G. Komen and the Siteman Cancer Center. stlouisblues.com/theme. Definitely should check that out. Now, you've probably heard by now, Toys R Us is closing. The news has left many feeling nostalgic over the iconic toy store they grew up with. I mean, that's one of those things I loved to do as a kid. My brother and I, we would spend the night with my papa and Grams, and they would take us to Toys R Us and let us pick out a toy. And I mean, that was so much fun, right? Well, it's gone, probably mostly because of internet buying and Amazon. Now, as far as when the doors will actually close for good, the company has not yet set a firm date, but it's expected to be within the next 2 months. So if you have any gift cards or store credit, you really need to act fast. The company said they will only be honored for the next 30 days. Now, this also goes for Babies R Us as well. And if you're worried about your baby registries, those will be maintained online for the next few weeks. More details about the closing are expected in the next coming days, but you might need to find somewhere else to go, which is so sad. Now, I am so excited about our guest today on the show. Tish Haynes Keys is going to be on. She's the local woman competing on The Voice. Yeah, that means we have an awesome singer in the house doing big things, and who knows where she's going to go from here. So keep it locked right here, and let's get started with the Daily Mix. In the past week, St. Louis has been getting some serious love from not one, but two national publications. And what can we say? We love it. First, Vogue published an insider's guide to the magic of St. Louis, Missouri. Author Dawn Sturman adopted St. Louis as her hometown about 15 years ago. But before that, she led a dual coastal lifestyle, working in both New York and LA. Not only does she give big props to our amazing designers and artists in startups, but also co-working spaces. But she goes as far to say that the city's urban hangouts rival some of the cool magic of her former city. So that's pretty impressive. She covers everything from restaurants to bars, where to get coffee, and all of the amazing things to see and do, where to shop, where to stay. And as if one glowing review of St. Louis wasn't enough, the very next day, the New York Times released an article letting readers know that St. Louis is welcoming and budget-friendly. Writer Lucas Peterson spent 4 days here last month and found that St. Louis has all you can want in a city. He writes about our vibrant music and restaurants and all of the amazing museums St. Louis has to offer, many of them free, and that distinct Midwestern friendliness that goes along with all of it. And we'd have to agree, of course, St. Louis is pretty cool. I think that's pretty awesome that we're finally getting some recognition, and maybe people come check it out. You know, there was a little while there, St. Louis was getting some bad press, but we deserve this good press. You want to read these articles, both of them are definitely worth the read. So be sure to check them out, Vogue.com and NYTimes.com. Now, World Down Syndrome Day is this Wednesday, March 21st, and the Down Syndrome Association of Greater St. Louis will be celebrating this Sunday with its annual Relay for Run 21 event. More than 500 runners and walkers will take to the streets of Clayton to raise awareness and funds for the Down syndrome community. And there's still room for more. Participants are encouraged to tackle 21 kilometers, that's 13.1 miles, on their own or as a part of a 3-person relay team. Now, this is in honor of the 3rd copy of the 21st chromosome, which is what defines Down syndrome. Now, if you're not quite ready for a half marathon, the event will also offer a 7K and a 2.1K fun run walk and a family festival inside Clayton High School. The relay and run for 21 will start at 7:30 a.m. Sunday, March 25th. You can find out more by visiting runfor21k.com. For the 2nd time this month, St. Louis will play host to a Southeastern Conference Championship. Just a couple weeks ago, we hosted the men's basketball tournament. Next up is the 2018 SEC Gymnastics Championship. St. Louis is no stranger to hosting the best gymnastics in the country. In the past few years, we've had the U.S. Men's Olympic Trials, the Women's P&G Championship, and the 2017 NCAA Women's Gymnastic Championship, which I emceed last year. So if you haven't checked them out, you definitely should. That's actually returning in April. Now, the SEC Gymnastics Championship will take place this Saturday at Chaffetz Arena. For more information, check out stlsports.org. CPA firm UHY LLP will host its inaugural Golf Prep Series event in the coming months, beginning with the Prep Preview in April. The preview is 36 holes of stroke play with the field size limited to the first 60 to register. All boys enrolled as high school freshmen through seniors are eligible to participate. Winners will gain exemption to the American Junior Golf Association Junior Championship at the Legends this summer. The deadline to apply for the Prep Preview is Friday, March 30th at 5 p.m. The series kicks off with the Prep Preview on April 7th and 8th at Normandy Golf Club. For more information or to register, visit uhySTLPrepSeries.com. All right, I mentioned it earlier. Finally, it's officially spring. And one sure sign of warmer days ahead is the opening weekend at Six Flags. This Saturday, the coaster capital of Missouri will kick off another exciting season of thrills. And for a limited time this spring, you can experience Batman the Ride in a brand new way. That's right, they're flipping the seats around. So you will climb the 10-story lift backwards and race around the loops and twists before you can even see them, giving you a completely new experience. It's pretty cool. I really love Batman. I love roller coasters in general. So why not do it backwards? Let's see what happens, right? Six Flags opens for the 2018 season this Saturday, March 24th. Check them out at sixflags.com/St. Louis for more information. All right, and congratulations to Tower Grove Park. It's been named a Level 2 Arboretum by ArbNet. Now, this is a really big deal. There are only 74 Level 2s worldwide, and now 2 of them are right here in St. Louis. The other is in Bellefontaine Cemetery. Tower Grove Park earned the prestigious award for its size and quality of its tree collection and its care and education programs. The park is home to a large and diverse urban forest that stretches across 289 acres and includes over 6,800 trees. Tower Grove Park is one of only 7 National Historic Landmark parks in the country. It was founded by Henry Shaw and was first opened to the public in 1872. You can check out their new website and interactive map at towergrovepark.org. Now, did you know spring training isn't just for baseball players? The St. Louis Zoo Sea Lions of Summer reporting to spring training this weekend at the First Bank Sea Lion Show at Sea Lion Sound. Zoo trainers are working with them on high jumps, flipper walks, high dives, frisbee tosses, and other really cool athletic feats. Now, throughout this show, that's going to be pretty fun. The trainers explain sea lion behavior, they encourage positive reinforcement training, and animal fun facts, and the need to conserve the sea lion's ocean habitat. Spring training shows will take place at 1 and 2:30 every day through March 30th. You can find out more information about the Sea Lions this summer schedule at stlzoo.org/Sea Lion Show. It's pretty exciting. You gotta love sea lions. Now, this is my favorite part of the show. We're gonna have an awesome guest, but first, let's take a look at Tish's audition. I love it, and I'm so thankful that you're here, Tish.
Thank
now,
you.
Before we get to The Voice, let's go back. St. Louis woman.
Yes.
Been here
yes.
most of your whole life?
Yes, I'm born and raised in University City, Missouri. So I say University City, Missouri. It's so funny because we call it U-City, USA, because we're such a huge family. I'm born and raised there all my life. Born in the church, going to church all my life, and just basically I've been singing all my life. But it's I had to step out on faith and try something different. So
well, let's talk back about this for a little bit. So you kind of got to start singing kind of a soul sound here in St. Louis
basically
after karaoke.
Yeah, I've been singing. Mostly my background was church. My parents passed away like suddenly. All of a sudden, my mom passed away in 2006. And basically my lifeline and my support system, you know, you couldn't call mom and say, can I borrow $20 or can I, you know, do this? So I started singing and I was doing karaoke, and then we would, I had to do the national anthem, and someone paid me, and I was like, oh my goodness, I really can actually do this.
Someone's gonna pay me to sing,
yeah,
right?
And it's something fun. It's not really a job because singing is something that I just love to do. So it went from karaoke then to me starting my own band, and then it's just been going up from there.
Going up since then. When did you know you were really a good, great singer?
I think I was about 15. I started singing professionally with different like community choirs, and then I would get called for background singing for some of the artists that would come in. Representing Cafe Soul is one of an open mic event that they have where different artists can just get up and sing, and you can get up and then you have 3 mics to the side where you can just jump on background. And I love that because music is just universal. And so with that happening, it just made me be able to go oh, Lord, I forgot your question.
That's okay. You've been doing a lot of media. We probably should tell people. I mean, since your audition already aired on The Voice, and I'm sure St. Louis is blown up, and they just want information from you.
Yes, and I talk so much because I can give you so much because there's so much to me. But with singing the background and stuff like that, you know, I was able to do Trace. I sang for Trace Atkins, so that's where that honky tonk badunk came from in my interview. So I've had plenty of great opportunities, and so with that, it was just like, oh, okay, I can really do this. I love harmony and stuff like that. So my background was really my thing. I love singing.
Well, I see. Now, I didn't even know the Trace Atkins connection, and I'm a country girl at heart.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
But I want to talk a little bit because you didn't necessarily have the easiest life. I mean, you had your first child at 14, so you had to kind of really work to keep the singing thing going.
Right. Basically, I was 14 years old. I was a preacher's kid, so you know they expect
so they probably
you,
didn't really like that too much.
Oh, girl, they wanted me to get up and apologize to the church, and I'm like, I didn't sleep with the church. This was my, you know, my problem or my decision, and it was just such a crazy experience from 14. My daughter was born prematurely. She was 1 pound 8 ounces.
Oh my!
She came home. She was in the hospital for 87 days. She came home on her due date, and I was a freshman in high school at that time. So I just wanted to make sure that I kept going to school. I kept my grades up. I graduated on time. Crazy relationships, you know, the typical and domestic abuse, substance abuse with the guys that I was dealing with. I mean, just back-to-back hard times. And then I turned 26 and my mom suddenly died. And then 18 months later, my dad died. I was like, really? No. Can I get a break?
Yeah.
And I always found music as comforting. It was, I just had to sing. You know, a lot of times I couldn't do anything but sing and cry. And so that helped. Music has always been like my backbone to just is so supportive. It just really helps me to get through life. And I've always, out of every obstacle that I've faced, I've always just, used music to go through it.
Well, I love the story of someone that, really had to kind of work to get to the point that you're at now.
Oh, yeah. And I also credited it to my job. I work for United Way of Greater St. Louis. I've been there 14 years, and they have been like super, uber supportive. I was able, for United Way Blues Night, I would be able to sing the national anthem. For the Rams, I did the national anthem. So I was afforded a lot of opportunities working for United Way and working with United Way. So it's just been a blessing all the way around. But I've put in my work.
Yeah, you definitely put in the work.
Yeah, I've been around here singing for a long time.
What made you try out and want to audition for The Voice?
Well, they have casting that they do as well, and I was called, and I really had to think about it. And I'm like, do I really want to do this? Am I trying to be that kind of star? I don't know if this is something that I really want to do. But then I thought about it, like, how many times is someone going to call you and say that you can just, you don't have to stand in line, you can have your audition, and then I never expected it to go as far as it did. So this has all been such a huge shock, and it's such a humbling experience. It's just crazy.
Well, we saw a clip of your audition earlier, and you're obviously a wonderful singer, but there's a moment there where you're singing and everyone has their backs to you.
Girl.
Are you just thinking like, what are you thinking in that moment? Like, please turn around? Like, what are you thinking?
So you go in with this thought, like I'm like hoping, like, okay, God, please let a chair turn. And by the time I was on the stage and I got to almost, I think I was about in the middle of my first verse before someone actually turned around. And I'm like, I don't even care at this point who turns. I just want to turn.
Somebody.
I don't care if Carson turns. Somebody needs to turn. And that was really crazy because you guys hear the sound effects. We don't. So we're on stage, and I'm a lot of times I close my eyes when I'm, getting into it. And so by the time I had turned around, I saw Adam looking at me, and I'm like, oh God, he turned. Keep singing, Tish. Be excited, but you got to keep singing. That was so amazing. It was just like a confirmation. It was like I got stamped.
Like you knew then at that moment, like, yes,
this is it.
I really am as good as I think I am.
And I deserve to be here because I really
say it again. Say it one more time.
I deserve to be here.
I love that. That is a perfect statement for that meaning. Now, you said it was the first verse before he finally turned around, which isn't that long of a time, but to you while you're singing.
Oh, that's a long time.
That had to be an eternity.
Oh, it was eternity. I'm like, please turn around. And I mean, it was simultaneously. He turned, then Kelly turned, and I love Kelly. Like, I was like, she turned for me. It was just it's still surreal. I still look at that audition and I'm like, they put my story together really good. I appreciated how they, did it, and it's just been surreal.
When they both turned around, so you had the choice between Kelly and Adam.
Yeah.
Did you already know who you thought you might pick before you went out there?
When I went in, I really did. I had a thought that I was going to pick Kelly. I really did. Kelly was my number one on my list. It was Kelly, Alicia, Blake, then Adam. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Adam was actually
Don't tell Adam. He's going to be mad.
Don't tell him. Please don't. But what he said to me and where I'm trying to go on this show, she said Kelly said she'll let me just fly and do whatever. And for me, that kind of meant that I would sing safe. And I would be safe. I wouldn't step out of my comfort zone because I know what I can do.
Right.
But when Adam said, I can give you something, you're a powerhouse, but what else can you do? And I'm like, oh, well, let's get the challenge going because I can do it. And I know I can.
Let's see what else I can do.
I chose Adam because of those reasons.
I love how he was fourth on your list. Now, are you a little mad at Blake and Alicia because they didn't turn around? Or are you just ready to prove them that they should have?
No, and then, by me getting the chair to turn, so I'm back on tonight or either tomorrow or either maybe next week with the battle. So I knew I would get my chance to prove to Blake and Alicia, but their comments as well. Alicia, she just didn't want to put me up against, she has a lot of soulful people on her. And I appreciated that. I respect that. Right. Give me my opportunity to let me shine. And if she knew that I couldn't get that on her team, I respect that, and I'm okay. I still love Alicia.
You still love them all, it sounds like.
Alicia, and I love everybody. Blake was amazing. We had a little, funny little joke there going. So I was like, why you didn't turn around?
Yeah, right.
But it was fun, and like he's told me, he said, you weren't going home. So at least if Adam and Kelly didn't turn around,
right.
Blake would eventually have turned. So I wasn't going home.
They weren't gonna let you get away, which is just reassuring. I want you to say it one more time. You deserve.
I deserve to be here.
I love it. Now tell everybody where they can find you, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
Yes, you can find me Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube under Tish Haynes Keys. Just simple, Tish Haynes Keys.
Tish Haynes Keys is right there on the bottom of your screen right now. Make sure you get that. You're gonna want to follow her.
Yes.
She's not allowed to tell us what happens next, so we're going to want to follow her journey.
Please.
And see what happens. You never know where she might end up. You might be back here. You might be somewhere else, but we want to follow along because it's awesome.
Please do. This has been such a wonderful experience. And out of all of the contestants that tried out in St. Louis, I'm happy that I am actually from St. Louis. So I feel like I got the weight of the world on my shoulders right now, but I'm definitely trying to make sure that I represent us very well.
You do, and you said you're from U-City, and U-City is known for some good singers.
People.
So
oh yeah, just good talent, period. I can't remember the guy's name, but he plays for like Diane Reeves. It's a lot of good people in U-City, like really good.
So you're representing not only U-City, but all of St. Louis.
Yes.
Definitely check her out, and let's make sure we follow The Voice. The Voice is actually on tonight.
Yes, tomorrow night, tonight and tomorrow, 7 p.m. NBC.
There you go.
Yeah.
Check out at see. Let's follow along with Trisha during church. Thank you so much for being here. Definitely follow her, and you can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You can drop us a line right here at the Daily Mix, stltv.net. We want to hear from you. Definitely tell me what you think of Trish, too. Tish, she's doing great. Tish. Make sure you follow her. That's going to do it for the Daily Mix. Keep it right here on STL TV and experience St. Louis.
Yes.
But you're